This is Breakfast Central, and it's time for us to have a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Remember to engage with us on all social media platforms at News Central TV. We'll be starting off with the Daily Monitor. Now, the big story here on the Daily Monitor is IGG orders senior UBO staff to refund 800 million shillings. IGG orders senior UBO staff to refund 800 shillings. That's the big story on the Daily Monitor there. And we can see Kiabazinga boost fight against malaria. The boost the fight against malaria. It's a campaign. Page 31. Kenya slaps taxes on Ugandan eggs. I guess eating egg is now a luxury in several parts in Africa. I mean, there's a salad I used to buy here in Nigeria. I got it yesterday. This salad used to have a lot of eggs. And yesterday there weren't eggs. I was complaining. I said, what's going on? And somebody asked me, have you heard of the prices of eggs in the market? Well, so yeah, it's a continent-wide problem. Still on the front page of the Daily Monitor, we have page 5. Family rejects report on mom's missing kidney. Wow. The details of that story is there. And on page 6, Museveni okay's law giving landlords power. It'd be interesting to have a look at the story because, you know, we always talk about property, landlords and tenants and the tenancy law in different parts of the continent and how usually it tilts in favor of the tenants, but in practicality, it's in favor of the landlords. On page 7, government resurrects compulsory land acquisition bill. The details of that story is on the Daily Monitor. That's all that I have on the Daily Monitor in Uganda.
Well, still staying in the Daily Monitor, that story as well. The IGG orders senior UBO staff to refund them 800 million shillings. Well, it's got to do with the fact that some monies were found in at least 28 staff at the Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Actually, they found some monies inside their accounts. And these monies were indeed as a result of a fictitious field work during COVID-19 lockdown.
So this is basically what is referred to as... Can we compare this to ghost workers in many organizations, maybe especially in the civil service, where, I mean, it's fictitious. You're not actually on the field, you know?
Yeah, most definitely. It's just like you were there, and then all of a sudden, people, I mean, a certain amount is being given, and you're expected to use this money to benefit the community, to benefit the environment, to benefit the people. All of a sudden, what they start to see after the investigations, I mean, you need to read that story. After the investigations, they get to find out that these monies were shared. Like, okay, you come, you take this amount, take this amount, take this amount. You know, it's...
There's a term for that. There's a term for that.
Why?
It's dividing the national cake.
Olive,
we do hope that we want the time to come where Africans will no longer be having conversations about that. I mean, corruption would always be a part of the world. We want to see a reduced rate of corruption on the continent. But that's all that we can have on the front page of the Daily Monitor.
All right, let's move on now. Let's go straight to another paper this morning. Let's go to the Punch here in Nigeria. At the top there, NNPC to pay 874 billion naira in June as subsidy hits 1.82 trillion. Did you see that figure?
Wow.
That is huge. Another one there, Owo massacre. Death toll hits 40. Quite sad. That means a lot of people are indeed giving up the ghost while they are on the hospital bed. They seem not to be able to make it. So death toll hits 40. Akuru Dulu Plant Memorial Park. Very, very sad. Page 14, you find that story. Federal government shouldn't have set up Nigeria Air. NEMA boss Yayi says federal government shouldn't have set up Nigeria Air. It's a story that we do know that we're expecting. Anyway, let's leave that. Go read up and see why the NEMA boss is indeed not happy about that. Man tackles CBN over 1 trillion naira low interest loan. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria indeed tackling the CBN. So read up on that story and you'll find it definitely on page 22. Let's take a look at other stories as well. The big one on the front page there. Tinubu to meet APC governors as race for running mate begins. Who's going to be his running mate?
I mean, that's the conversation that a lot of people have been having. They're wondering, is it going to be, I mean, religious conversations have even stepped into the market or into the play. We're hearing conversations about, is it going to be a Muslim ticket? Is it going to be a Northern Muslim candidates that he's going to pick to run. People are asking, is still this conversation about zoning. They say, okay, the zoning, APC has zoned the ticket to the south, but this time around, who's going to be the running mate, which is also a very important factor in determining, how it all plays out.
That's right. Let's take a few more here on the Punch newspaper. Peter Obi's ex-aide emerges LP factional presidential candidate, page 17. That story is one big one everyone seems to be talking about this morning, because a lot of Nigerians were actually looking forward to a vote for Peter Obi, who was the presidential candidate for Labour Party. But somewhat this morning, news broke out that he isn't any longer. Well, that's what you get. That's exactly what you get. Another one there. France-based Nigerian travels to Lagos, leads cyber attacks on 10 banks. France-based Nigerian travels to Lagos, leads cyber attacks on 10 banks. Like, he had to leave France, probably after studying a few of the technical know-how, and then come straight to Nigeria and then starts.
So what
hacking.
made it easy for this person to carry out the cyber attacks in Lagos? What made it easy for them to come back? Is it the porosity of our systems? The fact that we're probably not as big on cybersecurity as we should be? And, it is just really sad. I do hope that he faces punitive measures. I mean, this is basically another way of saying yahoo yahoo. This is internet fraud.
That's it.
Just
That's
a different area to
That's
it.
all. That's all we'll take from the front page of the Punch.
Okay, we will be moving over to our final paper for the morning for this first half. And it's the Sowetan in South Africa. Pressure mounts on Cyril. President allies close ranks despite panic over Falafala scandal. Game breeding, farmers say dealing in hard cash is the nature of business. That's on page 6. We know that President Cyril Ramaphosa has been under the fire for several allegations of corruption, and pressure is being mounted on him. Still speaking on the front page of the Sowetan, alleged Dudula member escapes necklacing. That's on page 2. Okay. On page 11, ex-boyfriend arrested for murder and daughter killing. Page 11. This is just a reminder of the fact that it's not, women's lives are under threat. In South Africa, in Southern Africa to be precise, there have been conversations about protecting the lives of women. And when we talk about World Health Organization statistics, talking about how 1 in 3 women will experience violence, domestic or sexual, and it's usually from lovers, from close relatives or people that one is in relationship with. I think this just brings to light that conversation. We do hope that he faces his time behind bars. Sakode hopes for SA collaborations on page 3. Xerxes spent 1.6 million rand on accommodation. That's on page 4. And that will be all that we will take on the Sowetan. If you'd like to find out more details of that story.